I keep talking about how Josh makes the best old fashions I've ever had. You guys have asked for the recipe, so here it is.
It's super simple, and there is a special secret ingredient that you're not going to find on almost any other old-fashioned recipe. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh. Thank you for joining us today. Erin gives me high praise for this old-fashioned. I'm not going to pretend like it's anything fancy or special. It's just what I do with what we've got, and I think it's going to be something that's going to really resonate with you guys. I do have a secret ingredient in here, and I'll tell you why when I get to it, that I had to find
A workaround?
Yes, necessity is the mother of invention, and that's where we landed here, and it actually worked out very well.
Yes.
We're actually going to shoot this uncut. I want you to see the whole process start to finish without any extraneous stuff.
Well, let's get to it because I want an old-fashioned.
So what is an old-fashioned first off? Or any cocktail is spirit, sugar, water, bitters.
Okay.
So there's 4 ingredients.
Cool,
now,
didn't know that.
when it comes to old fashions, typically your spirit is bourbon or rye. Your sugar is simple syrup or a sugar cube. Your water is the ice that continues to melt in the cocktail over a period of time. And then what was the other thing? Spirit, sugar, water, bitters. Usually and traditionally Angostura bitters, which I do use because I like to take something that's classic and elevate it and put a twist on it rather than getting crazy. You know,
Too fancy.
Yeah, sometimes we'll use like cocktail bitters or chili Malay bitters or whatever, but predominantly I like to make an elevated experience on a very classic profile.
And for me, when you're making things for me, I tend to like the classicness of things. So when you try to get a little extra, I'm looking at you, Will, at egg salad sandwich. When you try to get a little extra, I don't like it as much.
I do not endorse that statement, and I want that stricken from the record as far as this channel goes. Got a jigger here, 1 ounce, ½ ounce. Use whatever you got, or eyeball it, or use a shot glass or something like that. These are not fancy, by the way. I think I've said that. We like to use JTS Brown. It makes it the best, and you can get a whole 1.75 liter handle of this.
It is nice and inexpensive, and you get a lot.
Now, this isn't in every market. We get this when we go to Kentucky. We stock up on it. If you can't get it, Wild Turkey 101 makes a great one as well. And if you are more of a rye person, then we find that the Old Forester 100 proof rye is fantastic for old fashions. This is going to make it a little bit more cherry forward. The Wild Turkey is going to make it a little bit more cherry forward, but not as much as the Old Forester. This right here is just as classic as old fashioned gets. So we're just going to build this in the glass, and we're going to put 2 ounces of JTS Brown in here.
Yes.
And I'm not filling up quite to the top here. Now, I like a spirit forward cocktail, so I usually do like 2.5 ounces.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's
we're already twisting on the classic.
Do you normally, or did you just do that for today?
No, I typically do.
Okay, because however you normally make them, I like. So I guess I must like a spirit forward cocktail as well.
I like to go a little bit more on the spirit, pull back a little less on the sweet.
Yeah, that checks out.
And that tends to make it balance out because we're already using a sweet bourbon as the base.
Yep.
And when it's spirit sugar, instead of any simple syrup, I just use maple syrup. Used to ride bikes, run, do a lot of endurance sports. Maple syrup is fantastic for energy, but also ingredient list.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup. So it's natural and way better than processed sugar, in my opinion.
And I do like maple syrup,
Yes.
like the flavor of maple syrup.
And I typically do a little less than ½ an ounce
Okay.
in there on this. So throw the maple syrup in there.
Will the recipe for this be written in the description or no? Okay.
I'll put it in the video description. So spirit, sugar, water, we already got that.
Yep.
Bitters, Angostura, classic as classic gets. I like just the regular thing like this. I don't like to deal with the droppers and all that stuff. This thing can get a little messy, especially when it's full, but I just do 2 dashes. You know, simple and easy. And here's the secret ingredient, okay?
Secret ingredient. I'm ready for it.
Actually, hold
No,
on
just
secret
kidding.
ingredient.
Oh,
Because you always garnish with a cherry, right?
yes.
Use Luxardos. Seriously, spend the extra money.
They're worth it, 100%.
It makes a difference. So Erin typically likes 2 cherries.
I do.
So I usually do 2 cherries, and I make sure I get some good...
Get some juice in there.
Some juice in there. And I'm just going to leave that there. Nope, I don't need it to be stirred yet.
Okay.
It needs a secret ingredient.
Oh.
Now, typically, if I was going for presentation purposes, I would get an orange, and I would, do a little number.
Garnishment.
Yeah, do a little number, get some rind. I might even flame the rind. I might even put the cherries on a little spit. I might go,
oh my gosh, that's
I might twist this up and express it over the top.
But let's be honest.
Here's the truth.
We never have an orange in our house.
We never have oranges at our house.
I bought this specifically for this video. We never have oranges.
So oftentimes we're like, well, I want an old fashioned and I want that little bit of that citrus orange kick. How do we get that? Mm-hmm. I'll tell you how. You get Grand Marnier. This is a cognac orange liqueur mixture, and I will read you exactly what it says. Grand Marnier is a liqueur made with a unique blend of cognac and a liqueur of exotic bitter oranges. Some people use orange bitters in place of an orange. I just use a dash.
Like, do you not even measure it?
Nope, just a dash of Grand Marnier.
Okay.
And this is a secret ingredient. False.
So, and that's because we don't typically ever have oranges.
Yep.
And I would never know. Like, he makes this for me more frequently than we go to the store to buy oranges.
Right. Exactly. And oftentimes, like, we don't plan on making old fashions very often. We just hang out and we're like, you know what? I'm feeling like an old fashioned right now. And I'm like,
yeah,
don't have an orange.
They're more sporadic than planned.
Right. Don't have orange bitters. What do I have that has some orange flavoring in it? And by the way, cognac is just a fantastic spirit in and of itself. A lot of people who like whiskey also like cognac. This puts a nice twist and I think elevates the old fashioned. It's not much to look at, but it is good to taste. As the ice cube melts, which by the way, I'll put a link to the molds we use. They're cheap Amazon silicone molds. I don't care about clear ice.
Oh, it's so good.
It's just a straightforward old fashioned. 2.5 ounces of bourbon or rye, half an ounce of sweetener, a little less than half an ounce actually. The cherry cocktails, the Luxardos with a little bit of cherry syrup, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, and the Grand Marnier.
Yeah, and I definitely think this is classic. This isn't, I don't speak about how good it is because it's different. I speak about how good it is to me because it just tastes like a really good old fashioned. Like I don't know.
It's so good.
I just really love it.
There's something about the combination of the maple syrup and I think it has to be either the maple syrup and or the cocktail cherry syrup from the Luxardo cherries and or the Grand Marnier, the cognac orange liqueur. It's got to be something about the combination of all those that makes this, it's almost creamy.
Yeah, and I do think using the maple syrup, it does need that extra little bit of alcohol because maple syrup I feel like is so sweet that having that little extra half an ounce of alcohol in there really balances out the sweetness of the maple syrup and makes it not super sweet. Now, if you're one who really likes a sweet cocktail, like a very sweet cocktail, maybe don't do the extra alcohol. But for me, this is perfect. It's just a nice balance of sweetness with the alcohol and you do a little orange.
Well, I mean, if I was really trying to make this nice, I'd get one of those metal toothpicks. I'd put the cherry on the middle. I'd put the orange rind on. I'd put the cherry on. I'd wrap the orange around the other side and put it on, and I'd put it across the top.
Yeah, but when you're just making them at home, this is great because then it's like at the end I get to have the cherries. It's like a little happy place.
Right, but yeah, I mean, as the ice continues to melt, it continues, I think, to get even more cohesive. It's a super simple, dead simple recipe. The Grand Marnier is $35 in our market for a 750 milliliter. The JTS Brown is like under $30 for a 1.75 liter handle. If you can get a 750 milliliter of that, it's like $10 to $15. This is a dirt cheap old fashioned. One of the most expensive ingredients by volume in here is the maple syrup, and it really doesn't matter what kind you get. I tend to get just like the amber color or the light amber. I don't usually get the dark amber. That's I found that's a little aggressive for this, but just anything works. I mean, at your local grocery store. But really, I mean, it's a quality of ingredients thing. Pure maple syrup, no additives, Luxardo cherries, a decent quality classic bourbon or rye, Angostura bitters. Yeah. And, like Erin said, adjust your proportions up and down. Let me try a drink with the orange in here.
It's actually really good with the little orange that you squeeze in there, too. But yeah, just for convenience sake, I love the fact that you found that out because we don't always keep oranges on hand.
Right.
And I want to be able to have an old fashioned whenever I want.
And what you get out of adding the orange peel, especially when I do it, I usually tend to, I don't usually flame the orange peel, but usually I'll twist it and squeeze it to express it a little bit, and then I'll wipe the oil around the lid, and then just
The rim.
The rim, and then I'll just chuck the orange peel in there. And what you get by adding this that you don't get with just the Grand Marnier is that you get an aromatic experience as you're raising the glass to your mouth. You get a little bit more of the orange. Now, flavor-wise, it doesn't make a huge difference with the orange in there versus without when you use the Grand Marnier, because you get that orange liqueur and the cognac kind of coming through regardless. But this is fantastic. I mean, usually when I make these, I make them in double batches. Like the glass is filled up to here because it's so good. But you've often said these are the best old fashions, and we go out to restaurants.
They still are.
And you order old fashions, even at cocktail bars.
Old fashions were my drink of choice back in my dating days, and I've had plenty of them, and this is by far my favorite.
There you go. I get frustrated. I don't even order old fashions out anymore. It's like steaks. I can't order steaks at restaurants anymore. I'd rather just cook it myself.
Yeah.
I can't order old fashions out anymore. I'd rather just make it myself. So
Might as well.
Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We've had a lot of requests for this because Erin mentions my old fashions a lot
I do.
in videos.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm glad I said that because now you guys also can make these for yourself. So you're
There you
welcome.
go. A few simple ingredients.
Yeah.
Very easy to put together. You can keep these ingredients on hand all the time,
Yeah.
and they're going to last you forever. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, think about subscribing. If you like cocktail videos like this, let us know in the comments below. Maybe we'll do some more of these.
Yeah.
And check out our Patreon at patreon.com/stuffandwhiskey. Fantastic community of people. We got a cocktail corner over on Discord, and you can access our Discord through Patreon. People are posting really good recipes all the time over there. People are sharing samples, helping people find things, bottles, all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
That's where we release our barrel picks. We do bonus live stream content. There's literally something for anybody over there if you like our content and want to be plugged into a really good online community of good people who appreciate good whiskey and good cocktails. And you can find shirts just like this drinkware shirt, including some cocktail favorites over at stuffandwhiskey.com.
Absolutely.
As well as Erin's Cozy Corner for the holiday gift ideas that you can check out down there. And
Yeah.
I think that's it.
All right. That's it for today, y'all. Be good to each other. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
Save that for me.
As good as advertised?
Yeah.
I know. I usually make a double one of these because you, yeah.
I don't want you to drink this.